Hi, it's me again, your Filipina expat here in Maldives, Erica. So I've been an OFW here in Maldives for 4 years, almost 4 years this August 2021. 4 years. And just like you, just like any other OFWs, I had dreams, I had goals when I decided to come here in Maldives to work. And I'm so happy to share with you that one of those goals and one of those dreams finally came true this year. I finally got my family a car! Yay! So my family is now enjoying a new pickup, which has been a dream ever since we were young. It's not just a dream by my parents, but also mine and my siblings' dream, because we've been motorcycle people. We've been struggling and making do with the motorcycle that we have at home. Imagine 5 of us being like compact in one motorcycle. It's like the thing that you see in like provinces in the Philippines where like families try to fit in a motorcycle. So that's us ever since we were young. And now my family, my parents, my siblings can finally go anywhere safely and comfortably, and I'm so happy about it. So today, I'm going to share with you the process on how we were able to get a vehicle, even if I am currently abroad. So basically, I applied for car financing in the Philippines, even if I'm not in the Philippines at the moment, because I'm still stuck here in Maldives because of the pandemic. And I didn't have any clue at the beginning. I didn't have any resources. I didn't have any, like, there was no YouTube video about this, like how can you apply for car financing even if you're abroad. I mean, there were some agents who were doing like a walkthrough on the lists and on the requirements, but not really like a point of view of the one who applied for car financing. So I hope this video will help you and get you inspired to get that vehicle that you've been dreaming of. If you're interested in watching this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's get it on. So before we begin with the process of actually applying for car financing, I'd like to walk you through the process of how I decided to get a car or a vehicle for my family, even if it's pandemic. I mean, a lot of people are saying, is it a good time to get a car, or to get, you know, to buy or make a big purchase, especially if you're going through a pandemic right now? Well, for me, I was just very blessed at that time that I was able to afford the initial down payments, and I was also thinking already of the payments, monthly payments for the next 3 months. I made sure that I have a buffer money, so in case something happens, I have that safety net. So yun, what also added to my decision, which is the biggest part of this decision, was that my dad, unfortunately, he met an accident last November, end of November-ish. He was going home from the farm in his old trusty motorcycle, and he slipped, and I saw the photos. I pitied my dad so much, and that was the wake-up call for me that he finally deserves a safe vehicle which he can use during rainy days. And I don't want to wait, and I don't want to wait for another accident to happen. We were just lucky. We were very lucky that he only sustained minor injuries, but I didn't want it to happen again. So it's the time to get him a vehicle. And lastly, another thing that added to my decision was that it's more economical in our city, in our hometown in Mati, to get a vehicle because of the costs of the fare. My mom is working quite far from our house, and she has so many errands to make, and my dad is also like going to the farm, which is quite far from the house. So if we hire, especially if we're bringing lots of things, we have to hire a pedicab or a tricycle, and that costs quite a lot of money. So yeah, it was more economical. It was like we can save more if we have our own vehicle. So yeah, we went for it. We decided to go for it. Now, after we've already set the decision to get a vehicle, the next thing that we've decided on is that whether is it going to be a brand new one or a second-hand one. So basically, in the beginning, I was looking for second-hand one. I was checking groups on Facebook, like parang second-hand cars for assume or for sale. I was checking those, and I was like, if we get a vehicle, what we really wanted was a pickup, because we can use it in the farm. So I was checking those vehicles, and then what I've noticed is that it's a bigger initial payment. I mean, if like it's usually parang not less than 300,000 pesos for initial payment if they allow installment plans. But since it's a second-hand vehicle, it's not usually they're not usually lenient with the payments. So it's one bagsakan, and for me, I can't afford one bagsakan. I mean, I've only, like, in my mind, I've only prepared for parang initial down payment and like down payments for the next months. And another thing about second-hand cars is that I have a bad experience. We used to own a multi-cab and I think we had it only for a few years because we received it already had problems, and my dad got it fixed. And then after a few years, 4 years I guess, we can't use it anymore. It's just stuck in the garage because the repairs are quite high, quite costly. So we decided to just, it's not worth it anymore. So I had this mindset na if it's a second-hand car, they might be selling it because it's broken or something's wrong with it, even if they say it's good quality. But I have that trust issue already. So yun, that's when I decided to check brand new cars, to check the brand new options. So I messaged our neighbor Dave, Lexter Dave, if there's any promo, because he's an agent in Nissan, if there's any promo with Nissan. And he said there's a very low down payment of only like 55,000 depending on the bank. And that's when I said, I think this is the one. Yes, I can afford 55,000 at least. I'm lucky. I'm blessed to be able to afford that. So okay, let's try it, let's go. And since aside from that payment, it's also kind of a morale boost to my family and to my parents to be driving a brand new vehicle. Like, that's one thing off their mind, the repairs, the warranty and the insurance, because that will be taken care of by Nissan or by, you know, the company where they bought it from. I understand that it's more mahal in the long run, but then that was also one of my hesitations. I was asking my friends even before because this dream of getting a car, it's not just now, it's been like a long time dream. So even like when I started working here in Maldives, that's one of the things on my list that I really need to achieve. So I've been talking to people even before and I spoke with my mentor in Cebu. I asked him, because he got also a Navara years back, and I asked him, he also did the down payment and installment plans, and I asked him, what made you go for installment plans knowing that the interest is higher and you know it's gonna cost you a lot, like after 5 years depending on the plan. So his explanation to me was that interest is like you are paying the bank because you don't have money right now. That was his explanation. Parang that put me at ease also. Like, yeah, right, you're right. This is me paying the bank because I'm poor. I know it's bad. It's so capitalist. It sounds so capitalist. But if you put it in that perspective of someone who really needs like financing, parang that's how bank earns. So yeah, my fault for being poor. I don't have the money to pay upfront, so I have to borrow money, and in order to borrow money, I have to pay the borrower for letting me borrow the money. So yun, parang I was able to accept that kind of parang image. Yeah, I'm poor basically. That's why I had to pay more. Yeah, I know it sucks, but anyway, well, so we went for that. My mind was already set in getting a brand new one. I've already accepted the terms. Now to the process. I asked Dave, the Nissan agent, what's going to be the first step. So the first step was I think that was 4th week of November, if I'm not mistaken, or 1st week of December. We filled out an application form. So I filled out as a primary borrower, and I asked my sister to fill out. She's going to be my co-maker. My sister is also working here in Maldives, and the third person is my cousin who is in Davao. So I asked them to fill out the application form. It's like an initial screening, so we had to write there our names, our address, contact details, employment details, and income. So once Nissan like looks at the application and see that our income is parang okay with the bank, then they will already ask us for the list of requirements. So after a week, I think first week of December, they said na okay, your income is pasado. So please compile these these documents. I'll give you a list, and then submit it to us, and then we will submit it to the bank and see if you get approved. So that list includes employment certificate or employment contract if you don't have an employment certificate, payslip for the past 3 months, 2 copies of valid IDs. For me, I used my passport and work visa. Same for my sister. Then billing for the past 3 months. Yeah, we are staying in a staff accommodation by the company, so I don't have electricity and water bills because that's under the name is under the landlord. But luckily we applied for Wi-Fi last year and it's under my name, so I was able to send that billing like, yeah, receipt, whatever. So I had that, and then statement of account from the bank for the past 3 months. So we were able to complete those. I had to like prepare those documents. My co-makers, my sister and my cousin, need also to send all those documents. So 3 sets of documents I all saved in Google Drive, and I sent the link to the agent in Nissan. We were able to compile it after 2 weeks because we had to wait for the bank to give the statement of account, and we had to wait for our HR to give us an employment certificate, you know, the works. Yeah, we were able to complete it and send it on December 15, 2020. So we waited and waited for any updates until a week passed and Christmas passed, and there wasn't any news until I think this was last week of December already that we heard back from the 2 banks. First was East West Bank. We heard back from them and they said they couldn't verify my employment. I mean, did they try to call? Did they try to email? Because if they did, most certainly our HR would have received that email, but I guess they didn't. So we didn't receive, and like it was quite a long process. Like I asked the agent to please try to email my HR if we will receive it, because the bank was saying the email was bouncing. So like we had to fix that. And then yeah, that was East West. And then the second bank, which I will not name because I'm so frustrated by this bank, But if you like to know, then just hit me in the comments or wherever, like privately. I will share. I'm transparent. Anyway, this bank, the second bank, was saying my application was already rejected because they said I'm working now in a company that is selling marine diving equipment. So because I'm in a company that's selling diving equipment, my work now is not stable. I mean, how did they know that I'm working for a dive equipment company, and how did they think that it's not stable when they didn't even contact me, or they didn't even contact my company, or didn't, you know, they didn't reach out to us. I didn't hear any calls. I asked our HR if they were contacted by people from this bank, and they said no. So how can they just easily judge? I mean, it was such a it's so frustrating and so weird and so unprofessional for them to judge like that, because they don't know our company. If they just know that we are exclusive distributor of a big brand, of a big international brand of dive equipment and high pressure breathing equipment, okay, I'm being my sales and marketing self, but if they just know that, they will not judge easily. I mean, they're not I'm just ranting, okay, but like, we're not just a small shop in the corner of like the earth. We're okay din naman, no? I'm not gonna apply for a car financing if I know that my job is not stable. Anyway, but the problem was they didn't reach out, they didn't ask, they didn't interview me at least. They just like rejected because like diving equipment is associated with tourism, and tourism is not stable because of the pandemic. Parang, hello, this is Maldives. Anyway, I'm being I'm digressing, but yun, that was the second news that I received. So okay, I hated that bank, and until now I do, because of how judgmental they are. Anyway, so East West Bank was my hope. So yeah, we worked on how they can contact us. I gave them our phone hotline, company phone hotline, because they need to verify our employment, not just mine but my sister's as well. So if they didn't contact by phone, okay, parang you're a big bank, you can, you know, you can afford a long distance call. So which they didn't do. So okay, email is free, you can send an email to our HR. And then this is proof. I asked the agent to send an email to our HR, which our HR received, and we sent a screenshot that this is proof that this email can receive emails and it will not bounce. So parang we were really pushing it because parang maybe they need a little bit pressure. So yeah, finally they sent an email and we replied back. I mean, our HR replied back. So yeah, that already parang moved us up to the next step. And the next step was they visited our house in Mati, our permanent residence where my parents live, and they checked our condition, if everything that I said there was true, and they interviewed my youngest sister who was at home that time. So they also visited the house of my cousin in Davao who was the co-maker. So they also did the same interview about us to just ensure that we are who we are. So yun, that was, they did the parang CI, that's what they call it. They did the CI parang second week of January na. And after that, parang it was quick. After 2-3 days, if I'm not mistaken, the result came out. So of course, grabe naman, of course, no, but like, yeah, we got approved. We got approved from East West Bank, and on that same day, I sent the down payment right away because the agent was saying, I'm not sure if it's just a bluff or something, but they said that the units that they have in their casa, in their branch daw, is ano na, it's reserved, it's running low na because they have backlogs and they just recently received the new units. And it's for some customers already. So if you want to reserve a car, you can send a down payment right away. So I sent down payment right away when they said that we're already approved. I didn't like wait for another day pa, because we've been waiting for so long, since November, last week of November. So it was already like January 3rd week or last week of January. Anyway, so that there was a long wait time, and parang the excitement was like peak na, and then it went down because of that rejection from that other bank and the long process of that email to verify our employment. And then now parang yes, it's approved na, like let's make the hype higher. So yun, I sent the down payment for the car. We waited a few more days for East West Bank to release the CA, or credit advice, that's what they said, and a template of the SPA, or special power of attorney, because they have their own template. I can't just like pick anything from the internet. So now SPA, or the special power of attorney, is like a document that you need to sign. I mean, for me, I need to sign as a primary borrower because I can't go there and sign. So I'm giving authority to someone to sign on behalf of me. So yun, when they sent already the template of the SPA, I signed it, I put our details, and then one for me and one for my sister, and then we got it notarized here in Maldives. We looked for a public notary office, so we found one. We paid 150 rupiah for that, for each. So 150 for me, 150 for my sister, because she also needs to make an SPA. Excuse me. And then after getting it notarized, we brought it to the Philippine consulate here in Maldives. So at that same day also, when we got it notarized, so I went to the Philippine consulate. Abdullah Adam was there waiting for me because I've been texting him like, hey, I really need this notarized. I mean, yeah, I need this to be authenticated. That was the term. I need this to be authenticated within today. It's so urgent. So he said, okay, I'm going to wait for you until this time. So I was like really rushing. And then we got there, he signed the documents, he got it authenticated. We paid $35 each for that document to be rushed, because usually if you authenticate documents, it's just $25. But for that, we wanted it express. We wanted to receive it within that day. So we had to pay additional $10 each. So total of $70, because 35 for me, 35 for my sister. And then yeah, we got it on the same day. We finished all the transactions by around 1 o'clock or 1:30, and then excuse me, and then after 1:30 we went to DHL. So we went to DHL to get it sent to the Philippines, because they need the original copy. They will not accept, you know, scanned copy. So yun, we went to DHL for that package. We paid around $50 or more. It was 800 something rupiah. So in dollars, because we paid in dollars, it was $50. It was express service again, so our family will be receiving it within 5 days. It was that fast-ish. In that standard, it was fast na compared to post office. So yeah, my family received it after 5 days, and the SPA there was under my cousin, the one who is like my second co-maker. So he signed on behalf of us, of me and my sister. And then after he signed all the paperwork, my parents were finally called and told that you can collect your vehicle tomorrow. So I'm so happy. They were able to collect the vehicle on February 10, 2021. So that was 5 days after my dad's birthday. We were really hoping he can get it on a February 5, but then it was not possible with all the paperwork that we had to do and we had to wait on. So he was able to get it 5 days after his birthday. Still not bad, because Nissan still, you know, prepared something for him. They bought him a cake, and they were so thoughtful with that. So yun, that was the whole process. That was the whole story of how we got our brand new Nissan Navara 2020 or 21. I don't know which model, but yeah, it's a good vehicle, and my dad was so happy. It took time for him to, you know, get acquainted with the vehicle because it's so different from the one he was used to driving. He used to drive a multi-cab, which was manual, and you had to roll the windows, and no infotainment, no sensor, you know, like the old school. And for this car, like, he really learned how to drive it. He was nervous at first, but my cousin, Kuya Jonathan, he really helped him, you know, be confident in driving. And yeah, so that is the story. I am very happy. We got the car with some freebies with it. Like, it was tinted na, and it was like, they also gave us a floor mat, and the registration and all are already processed, and there are also tools that came with it. So yeah, we're happy. We're very happy, and we're also very thankful with to East West Bank for approving us and not judging me, not judging us, our capacity. So yun, that is the whole process. I hope this sharing and this story helped you decide that you can get a car even if you're not in the Philippines. It can be processed, yes, as long as you have the right agent, the one who will really work on your papers, and you know, parang a bit of luck na din, and a bit of parang guts to go for it. It's not naman impossible. Like, as long as people are willing to help you, and you have people who you can trust back in the Philippines, it's going to be easy. So yeah, I hope that I was able to help you decide, and I'm able to inspire you, and I'm able to guide you through the process of how I did mine. If you have any questions, or if I missed anything, please don't hesitate to comment or leave any feedback if you like. And I am going to meet you and see you again on my next video next Monday. Thank you, and please don't forget to subscribe. Bye!